How do you choose the best foods for optimal nutrition and to help the most with your weight loss goals? This is the third of 4 videos in our Series 3 playlist, which is called Create Your Own Weight Loss Program. And I am going to talk to you today about how to make those decisions of which foods to eat and what not to eat to get the most of the macronutrients we need, those micronutrients that we need that we talked about in that last video. And we want to just arm ourselves with the best information that we can so that we can hit those fat loss goals and those weight loss goals and those muscle gaining, strength gaining goals. But first, let's look at today's scripture. 1 Timothy 6:8. Having food and raiment, let us be therewith content. So I love that scripture, and honestly, it goes for food, clothing, anything that we have, whatever we have, the Lord has given to us, and we should be thankful for everything that we have, and we should be content with what we have. Once we are thankful and appreciate all of the things that the Lord has given to us, He seems to shower us with more and more. This is something that I work on every day to just remind myself I need to thank the Lord every day for everything that I have and be content with what I have. It just shows a sign of maturity and appreciation and thankfulness, and I do believe as we are content with the things we have, better things come our way. So as we mentioned in the last video, the macros versus micros, calories are simply a measurement of energy. It's just a way to say, okay, this food is going to provide X amount of energy to our bodies as fuel. So there are several things that we should keep in mind when we're choosing foods. So just like the little pops I brought, let's see. What do we think has more nutrition? This apple full of vitamins and minerals, or these lovely oatmeal raisin grandma's cookies? Well, we can see on the back of them, lots of calories, sodium, a little bit of fiber, a lot of sugars, a little bit of protein from the oatmeal itself, I'm sure. But I would bet this apple has half the calories. 1 cookie is 160 servings. 2 cookies, this whole package is 310 servings. This apple is probably 80 calories at best. It's kind of a small one. But it's got vitamins, it's got minerals, it's got nutrition in the skin, nutrition in the inside. It's got soluble fiber, it's got insoluble fiber. It's got pectin as sugars, but you know what they always say, an apple a day keeps that doctor away. So I'm going with the apple. Okay, put those aside. I figured the easiest thing to do is to look at a recipe and let's look at the swaps that I would make that would make it a healthier version of what we've got. So I am going to put this recipe, I will screenshot it. It's a recipe from Pinterest. It's a Southwestern pasta salad, and it is vegan because I'm trying to eat mostly plant-based. So, you know, if you want to throw in your taco meats and just use a lean ground beef or ground turkey, something like that, always feel free to do that. Again, you can put those changes in Chronometer.com now that I've showed you how to make those recipes on your own, the custom recipes that I love. And then you can see the macros for yourself, and it probably will at least give you more protein. So this recipe, and I'm sorry guys, I'm going to have to use this a lot. I will show you the Pinterest. I'll do a screenshot of the Pinterest recipe, and then what I'm going to do, I put everything in my Chronometer.com that I substituted for this. So I will give you a screenshot of that end screen just to give you an idea of the difference in nutrition. Oh, I didn't print out the original calories. That's okay. Okay, so for this Southwestern pasta salad, we have 12 ounces of the farfalle pasta, which is actually that bow tie pasta. Those, I would bet, on average, 5 to 7 grams of protein. I don't know if the pastas are any less than that anymore. They seem to have more of the wheat durum in it, so it is a little healthier fiber and protein. But I have the Banza. They are chickpea pastas, so they're made out of the chickpea beans, and they come in an 8-ounce box, but they are 22 grams per serving, and it's a 3.5 gram serving. So you usually get about 3 servings in that box at the 22 grams of protein. So I would actually use 2 of those 8-ounce boxes of the Banza bean pasta, and you can use anything, the bows, shells, penne, whatever you like. So then the recipe called for 1 heaping cup of black beans, which I would assume is just 1 can of drained, rinsed back black beans. And I would actually use my own, if you boil the dried beans, I have done like a 16 ounces cooked of the dried black beans, and then I would also add another bean, so probably like maybe a pinto bean, and again from the dried. So I do 16 ounces of pinto beans, 16 ounces of the black beans from dried, and you are going to get a lot of protein and none of that added salt, so you can just salt and season it to taste. They've got 1.5 cups of corn. I always buy the frozen corn, so I usually get a 10-ounce bag of frozen corn from Aldi, so I just throw that whole bag in. 2 cups of cherry tomatoes cut in halves, or sometimes I'll slice it even thinner. That's easy. 1 orange bell pepper, just kind of cut that into chunks. It says 3 green onions cut into rings, so I would probably use 4. I don't know, I always take 4 green onions, cut that up. I did also add 1 whole red onion because I love red onion. I love onion. So I added that in. And then I would probably put a cup of cilantro, and maybe not like a dense packed cup of cilantro, but just get a big bunch of cilantro, and I've got some growing in the garden. So I went outside, cut some off, rinsed it, and then just chopped it up and threw it in there. I love it. And then their dressing, I just kind of threw it all in together and mixed it up. So they said a tablespoon of lime. A tablespoon of lime juice. I actually put in 2 limes. So make sure, I always look for the limes and lemons that are softer, so you can kind of squeeze them and get all of that juice out of them. And you can also roll them on the counter, and I know that will help kind of break up the walls and the inside, and it just helps to get more juice out. But I actually put 2 whole limes, the juice in, and I wasn't thinking I should have done the lime zest on the outside of those, because that just gives it such great flavor, and I love lime with the cilantro. So this recipe called for 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I didn't use it at all. I would add a little extra water because it does call for a tablespoon of water. And because I put 2 whole lime, the juice of 2 whole limes in there, that's going to be that extra liquid you need. So then it says a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, and I also put in a 1/2 teaspoon of coriander because, again, it's the cilantro seed. 1 teaspoon of the paprika. I actually put in smoked paprika because I just love that. It just gives it a little twist, especially with the cumin. And then it calls for 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar. I always use apple cider vinegar. You could use rice vinegar, white vinegar, any red wine vinegar, any vinegar you want. So throw that in there. It did say a splash of agave. I do have local honey that I get from an actual family in town that has bees and harvests the honey. So I do get fresh honey from them. So put in a splash, I would say about a teaspoon to a tablespoon. I added a little extra water with the lime juice just to make sure it would make a nice dressing and give it some good flavor in there. 2 cloves of minced garlic, which I am lazy and just buy the minced garlic, but if you have fresh garlic, chop that up. Salt and pepper to taste, and I did add in a jalapeno because I'm growing those also in the garden, and I wanted to see if one was ripe enough yet. It wasn't real hot, so it probably should have been ripening a little longer. It was the biggest one, and I was impatient. So anyway, when I went through and put all of my substitutions in this recipe, I figured because it's going to make a lot, I would divide it up into about 6 servings at least. And at 6 servings, and again, I'll have the chronometer screenshot at the end so you can see where all of this is. This recipe, and also I forgot to mention, I would cut up some greens and put some kale and arugula and romaine and the Swiss chard and just any greens that you could put. I would make like a bed of lettuce at the bottom and then put this pasta salad on top, and then you'll just get an extra serving or 2 of greens. You should have, I believe it's about 6 handfuls, packed handfuls of greens a day, just to ensure that you're getting all of the nutrition you need. Those greens are so important, and they're just going to up that calcium. They have a lot of calcium in the dark leafy greens and the protein. So it's just going to up your protein. I think it gave it maybe 2 or 3, 4 grams of protein more adding in the greens. So that is just an idea of what I would do to make a change in a recipe to make it healthier. And I am notorious for that. I look up recipes on Pinterest just to get an idea of a base of what to put in. And then I just throw in whatever sounds good, what I like. If I don't like an ingredient in it, I think of, well, what else could I put in there that would make it either vegan or make it just better, more healthy. And I don't think I've hardly ever made a recipe based on its original writings. But of course, I never know what they taste like because I never do them the same way that the original author did them. But that's okay. Let me know if you like this type of content, because I'm trying to get ideas of what is a better way to show you guys what to eat, how to make those judgment calls, and just ways to, sneak more nutrition in on a daily basis just to get what we need in our bodies. And everything that's healthy is going to, 1, fill up our stomachs so that we don't pick up those cookies and things like that. The healthier and the fuller that you can keep yourself, then you're not going to be grabbing all of those unhealthy foods, and that's just going to help you with your weight loss. It's just, and you can eat so much more of the healthy foods than you would these snack foods. You're going to feel fuller, longer, more fiber, more protein. It's going to be great for you. Our question comment below is, what way do you determine the foods that you put on your plate in your weight loss journey? And what have I missed in this video or left out? Please let me know in the comments section below, and let's get that conversation started. And I want to always, always, always say thank you so much for coming. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching the video to the end. You tried and true folks are the ones that are keeping this channel growing, and I really, really, really appreciate it, and I thank you so much. If you know somebody who would like this type of content, please share my video, and if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know you care, and then if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe so that next time the videos get uploaded, you can even hit that notification bell and you will know right when we're coming out with new information. And the next video is going to be plan of action for weight loss. So until then, we'll see you next time.